Okay, ladies and gentlemen, of course it's a very special night here tonight at the presentation night. For only the second time in 979 FM history, we're presenting a life membership to someone who's contributed much to this radio station. Tonight we named Leo the Tiger Johnson as a life member of 3RAM 979 FM Melton Community Radio. And I don't like this microphone. Hold on a second, we're going to turn down just a speech. Okay, slightly better. Those of you who were at the presentation night 2 years ago when we celebrated our 30th birthday, you'll remember Tiger, as well as other long-time members Carolyn McGavin, Kay Nichols, Colin Vinton and Anthony Barnes got up to speak about the early days of 979 FM. And Leigh the Tiger Johnson played a big part in this station getting its full-time licence. It's actually a little-known fact that before 979 FM was around, Tiger just used to sit in the room telling stories and people would come in and out listening to these stories, sometimes a group of people, sometimes one or two, sometimes no one, but Tiger will still keep telling these stories. Then someone said, hey, let's put a microphone in front of this guy, and so 979 FM was born. And those who listen to the bench almost every Saturday will know Tiger's still telling these same stories, and one day may get to the actual point. I'd like now to invite Carolyn McGavin, who's worked with Leigh the Tiger Johnson, both at 979 FM and other community groups around Melton, to come up and say a few words about Tiger.
On with the speech, it's a sign of being a senior. Well, there is an old saying, you can't hide your light under a bushel. Well, that is exactly what our Leo has done. His story with the station goes back to the community-minded spirit of the citizens of Melton over 30 years ago, who seized upon the opportunity for us to have our own radio station. Although he doesn't appear in the archival photographs like the late Alan Clark does, doing the initial test broadcasts he was doing the initial test broadcasts at the old regional shopping centre. He was there in the background giving his full support. In fact, the day the broadcasting tribunal people sat in the Melton Council chambers deciding upon our case, who was there giving his all for us, our Leon. Though not prominent on the airways like some of us, somehow he has always been around. He's been a public officer for many years, his on-air shows, and more recently his connections with the live football broadcasts. Perhaps we have taken his presence for granted. Ably supported by his wife Elaine, Leo has always been a community-minded resident for the past 30 odd years he has lived here. A dedicated member of his Masonic Lodge, a long affiliation with the local ALP branch, at one stage a Shire councillor, and for the past 8 years, like myself, an appointed member of the Western Ward Customer Advisory Group because of his recognised contribution to the Melton community over the years. He has been a special friend to me too, and to many others at the station, and I guess we have all taken this for granted. A quiet but reliable bloke who has literally hid his light under a bushel. And ladies and gentlemen, may I ask you to propose a toast of thank you, Leo, for all you have done for 979 FM and for the Melton community. Please raise your glasses to Leo.
Mr. Treasurer, can we get a new mic stand before next year?
No.
Thank you, Carolyn. I joined 979 FM in mid-2000, and at that time there were many gaps in the grid during the daytime, and I was one of the regular affiliate presenters alongside Leo, Stephen Hutchinson, Glenda Wallace and the late Alan Clark. I don't remember the first time I met Tiger, but he probably greeted me with, "How are you, mate?" That's how Tiger greets everyone. "How are you, mate?" If they're male, that is. If they're female, he's a bit more hands-on. I won't say any more because Mr. Tiger's here. But that's the great thing about Tiger. He makes everyone feel like his best friend, whether you've known him for many years, just met him, or never met him but heard him on the radio. I'm always getting many people saying they listen to BFL Game of the Round, or the bench warmers saying they love listening to Tiger. He's got quite a fan club out there. During my first 2 years at the station, I heard stories about a sports show that Tiger used to host called Sports of All Sorts. Being a sports fan myself, I thought it's time for 979 FM to have another sports show. So in June 2002, the Benchwarmers began as a joint broadcast on both 979 FM and our sister station, Apple FM in Bacchus Marsh. At that time, Apple were also broadcasting the Ballarat Football League with Michael Clough as the main caller. A couple of years later, 979 FM started taking the BFL Game of the Round broadcast, and Tiger joined on the commentary team as special comments man and abuser of umpires. I'd now like to invite Michael Clough to the microphone to tell us about his time in the commentary box with the ferocious one.
Now, being part of the Benchwarmers, of course, unlike others, I don't have notes. We never prepare and we never do research. But 10 years ago, it's amazing to think 10 years that we've been doing the Benchwarmers. It's my first, the Benchwarmers, first time I met Ty. I believe the first episode, he actually, for once in his life, was speechless. He had a sore throat and couldn't actually take part in the show. That was probably the most coherent show we've ever done. But a few years later, Tiger did become part of the football panel as a special comments man, and I'm not sure how keen he was to join us initially. He tried a few times, but I get the feeling Mrs. Tiger enjoyed the idea of him not being at home on a Saturday afternoon. He's playing part of the footy. But he certainly brought a lot of passion to it, and what you hear on air is on the footy is exactly what he's like inside the commentary box. There's a couple of stories that come straight to mind. One day at Darley Park, I think it was, because we do the Benchwarmers beforehand, then we do the footy call. And me and Tiger had spent probably the whole 15-minute segment arguing with each other. And I'm sure people listening on air would have thought we were about to throttle each other once we were off air. But second, the microphones were off, and this is probably what type of person Tiger is, that after the mics were off, we'd been disagreeing for 15 minutes. The second the mics were off, he brought out the thermos and was like, "Do you want a cup of tea?" And everything was civil again. And then once we were back on air, we started up again. That's the passion that Tiger brings to I think probably many aspects of his life. People will obviously work with him with other community groups, and know that he brings a lot of passion to what he does. I think he likes to stir the pot a bit, which is what he brings to the Benchwarmers and to the football. But he is a thoroughly decent person through and through, and is a good man, and certainly you can have an argument with him on air, and once it's all done and dusted, it's everyone's friends again, except if you're an umpire. That brings me to actually another story. We were in Sunbury at Clark Oval, and people aren't familiar with that ground, and I'm not sure if it's changed since I last broadcast of the football. We were actually in with the timekeepers. And it's an open area, there's no windows there, so we're broadcasting, people in the stands can hear us, and Tiger wasn't particularly happy with one of the umpire decision, as he usually is. And this time decided he didn't want the umpires just to hear through it later on the airwaves. He wanted the umpires to hear it pretty much on the ground. He grabs his headset mic, throws it to the ground, and just starts yelling at the umpire, "You're a disgrace!" While I'm trying to maintain calm in the commentary box. But so he developed a quick reputation, but again, it's the BFL call wouldn't be the same without him. And certainly has brought a lot of listeners in. It's become probably the real focal point. He was the colour man, while myself and Michael Simpson really had to play the straight guys. I think it's really is wouldn't have been anything wouldn't have come without Tiger. And after hearing the broadcast where he was awarded the life membership which he's getting today, I thought at the time if I knew that the only way to turn him up was to give him a life membership, I would have given him one every single week. So, well-deserved honour, Tiger. You thoroughly deserve this, and I know that I can speak speak for everyone at 979. You've been one of the hearts of this station, and yeah, so I think the station as a whole can't thank you enough for what you've given to the station over the years.
Thank you, Michael. And as Michael mentioned, Tiger didn't find out he was getting this life membership until he heard it from the words of Michael Nevinson while he was actually broadcasting on air. This started early this year, and we kept it a secret from Tiger all that time, which is quite an achievement to keep something from Tiger. Even Leigh knew, and he still didn't find out. So that's what we aimed to do, was just to, you know, have him lost for words for the first time in his life when he finds out that he's getting this award. And Michael mentioned the umpires, and I believe we have got a letter from the Ballarat Umpires Association, which our President, Wade Lester, will read out for you.
Is this why we pay that insurance? Yes!
There's a reason we take our defamation insurance on. We did receive a letter. Dear 979 FM, Leo the Tiger Johnson is a... Well, I can't read that bit. Or that bit. And definitely not that bit. Tiger, you can take your award and... I better not finish that sentence. Why anyone would bestow a life membership on you is beyond us, from the Ballarat Football Umpires Association.
And now I'm very proud to welcome up here Leo the Tiger Johnson to officially receive his life membership of 979 FM Melton Community Radio.
You don't like it doesn't get up to you guys? No. Okay.
Mine's free.
Leo, as Vice President of 979 FM, I'm very proud to present you with life membership of 979 FM Melton Community Radio.
What's your group? I'm going to stab you. I've been wanting to do this for a long time. I've got my glasses on. I didn't know we got it the right way. I'm crying, I can't see. Yeah. Oh, I've got it back to front. You need to come and fix it.
You always want your nickel pierced in your Tiger. There we go. Would you like to say a few words, Tiger?
It was quite funny watching that little film clip, because that little bit where Father Bob was there when we were outside the gym, he did actually say to me, even God mentions you, Tiger. He did actually say that. And I didn't know whether that was good or bad. But I'd just like to thank everybody that spoke for all the kind words. Yeah, it's been a while, and I've enjoyed every second of it. Every second that I've been involved with the radio station, and we've had our ups and downs. We've been off air a few times, we fought back, and 4 or 5 times when it looked like we might have gone out of existence, we fought back. We're still here, stronger than ever, and we'll go on being strong and better. I'm not quite sure, but I think 979 might nearly be the longest running community radio station in Australia now. in terms of, I can't swear to that, but I know we're pretty close to being that, and for that alone, we should be proud of what we've achieved. And I'm sorry, just can't quite find the words to say, but thank you very much for the honour that you've bestowed on me, and very much appreciated, and that will certainly go up on the wall. I'll point it out to everybody that ever steps in the front door. So, thank you very much.
Thank you, Tiger. We have one more presentation. Myself, Michael Clough, Michael Nevison, Barry Yag, and the rest of us, we only have to put up with him for a few hours on a Saturday. Someone has to put up with him all the time. And I'd like to give these flowers to Mrs. Tiger, who's a call and mentor, Leigh.